We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Booty Scoop Racing channel, live here from the Richmond Raceway for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to watch the Wheeling Modified Division take on the 0.75 mile D-shaped oval here with a capacity of 51,000 sold out asses in the stands here tonight. Open in 1946 here in Richmond, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you down here on the broadcast as these guys are starting to wheel and deal these modifieds. Get them locked in, loaded here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final cutoff playoff race here tonight for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. We will crown our 4 drivers heading to South Boston 2 weeks from now for the championship race here on the Madness Racing League. Ladies and gentlemen, counting down the final seconds here of the practice session, reminding you that we appreciate you guys coming all year long and making things exactly what we intended on them to be, and for things to run as smooth as they could have went. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the remaining schedule for the I-85 Asphalt Series. For the Wheeling Modified Division, one more race will do it here for the Wheeling Modified Division. 2 weeks from now, the South Boston Speedway will take on a 60-lap event to crown our champion, but we'll find out which 4 are going to the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, and we'll pull up that point standings for you right here as we're still counting down that clock for Freddie the Flagman to throw that white flag here. Chase Johnson is going to be on the top of the board here with Corey Riptide Tesner, James Fountain, and Andrew Allen, the top 4. Currently, locked in right now to the championship race. But with tonight's final race in implication here, couple drivers not in the field tonight for tonight's main event in the heat races that are currently locked in to the playoffs, like Travo Wall. We will be missing tonight Chris Knighty and Andrew Allen. So it's going to be a all-out shootout between John Michael Bryant, Joshua Thornton, and Jeremy Douglas battling it out for that Looks like going to be that final place spot right there as James Fountain, Corey Tesner, and Chase Johnson have worked their way mathematically. Almost impossible to catch him, but ladies and gentlemen, I'll shut my mouth. We're moments away from the heat races here for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, wanting to know how we get things done, how things get to rolling around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, 2 heat races here tonight for 15 laps apiece. We'll split the field in half, and we'll get ready to kick off these guys for their qualifying spots in the heat races, and then we'll be tacking on 60 laps, ladies and gentlemen, for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. Ladies and gentlemen, you're moments away from the action. Stay right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Don't go nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like Freddie the Flagman is throwing up the white flag right now. You see him, the checker flag is in the air for the practice session here. And we're getting ready to transfer over into tonight's heat races. Are you ready to go racing here for the Modified Division? For the final time here for the playoffs, get ready to crown our final 4 heading to the championship race. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Heat race number 1 is getting ready to get started. These guys are getting ready to start gritting in these modified race cars, and we're glad you've tuned in here tonight to tune in and watch it with us, ladies and gentlemen. There they go, tuning in the field. We'll kill the music here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as we are getting ready to start tonight's drivers introductions portion of tonight's event for tonight's heat races, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like 12 cars are going to stack out the field here tonight. 6 are going to do heat race number 1, starting on the front row here, driving the number 66 modified from Union Beach. That's the Boardwick Modified of Neil Rutt. Starting on the outside of him, driving the number 91, RacePie.com, Wheeling Modified from Greer, South Carolina. That's the number 91 of Chase Johnson. Starting in the third place spot here tonight, on the bottom side. Driving the Tyler's Pub at the pier, number 59, Wheeling Modified from Clemson, South Carolina. That's Big Country Cousin Kyle Fountain. Starting on the outside of him, driving the number 02, Maynard Motors, red and white, Wheeling Modified from Welford, South Carolina. That's the kid, Nicholas Maynard. Starting on the bottom side, behind him, in the last place spot here tonight for heat race number 1 from Elk Grove, California. They don't call him Young Money for nothing. That's Young Money Alex Morales. Starting on the bottom side here in 5th place on the back row here for heat race number 1, driving the Mayhew number 10, Wheeling Modified. That's Corey Riptide Tesner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are packed in here tonight at the Richmond Raceway, getting ready to kick off heat race number 1. Peter the base car should hang this left on the pit road this time around, and we should get ready to go racing around here to kick off the final playoff race. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, this is the Wheeling Modified Division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. One more race after tonight at the South Boston Speedway for the championship. This is heat race number 1. 10 guys made the playoffs. We'll race 4 of them in the championship, so we're cutting 6 after tonight's event. So these guys are going to be battling it out all night long. 15 laps are scheduled here around the Richmond Raceway. The fans are up on their feet. There's not a guy on their ass in the stands. Look at this guy down here throwing up his Bud Light as he rips and roars as these guys come down the back straightaway here underneath the wheeling caution light. For the Wheeling Modified Division on the Booty Scoot Racing channel is going to be Chase Johnson here, the number 91 on the outside, the number 66 of Neil Rutt in the Boardwick Modified down on the bottom side. Peter the pace car is going to hang the left on the pit road this time around. You'll have to give it to Neil Rutt. He'll have to wait on the green flag to start tonight's event here in heat race number 1. Green flag is in the air for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division playoff race number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, he races on. So is Chase Johnson. He's on the outside. Ribbon about the bottom. Here comes Kyle Fountain. He'll jump up off the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to fall in the line here. Knows the tail turn into turns 3 and 4. The number 66, and Neil Rudd able to hold on down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. Chase Johnson went the fall there for the second place spot. Down on the back, so front straightaway here. Down into turns 1 and 2. The racepie.com, number 91, Wheeler Modified, trying to run down the truck in front of him here. That's the number 66, and Neil Rudd will get a great run down the back straightaway, looking to make a pass into turns 3 and 4 for the race lead. Showtime Chase Johnson out on the bottom side. Neil Rudd up on the top side. Kyle Felton at the fill in here on the third place spot. Looks like Alex Morales here. Young Money will get a little loose here. We'll keep it green on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Single file here. First, second, third, fourth here. Heading through turns 1 and 2. Riding out the ass end of the third place driver, Kyle Fountain here as he starts to pull away from the number 10 Mayhew Modified of Corey Riptide Tesner. Kyle Fountain coming out here tonight at the Richmond Raceway here in his Modified, a homegrown team here. Just trying to pick off some laps from Clemson, South Carolina. A little loose off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Kyle Fountain able to hold on to that Jim Fountain Racing Modified. Really able to grip through turns 3 and 4 quite well. Here comes the number 10 of Corey Riptide Tesner. He'll get the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around, followed by the kid of Nicholas Maynard. Down into turns 3 and 4. These guys are absolutely going to have to get it into gear here. Still got one more lap. You're riding on board with the kid of Nicholas Maynard. Down into turns 3 and 4 as he tries to run down Corey Riptide Tesner. Kyle Fountain really able to get up off the bottom side of the racetrack here. Really compressing in the springs on this Wheeling Modified, giving you some great shots around. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Wheeling Modified division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Kyle Fountain up off turns 2 down the back straightaway here, trying to run down the guys in front of him. The battle for the race lead, though, really starting to shrink up here. Here comes Chase Johnson trying to back on the back door. With Neil Rudd, 9 laps to go here in heat race number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just tuning in for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified division here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. It's been one hell of a season. One more race after tonight's event here at the Richmond Raceway at the South Boston Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of South Boston, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. It's the I-85 Asphalt Series, the late model stock division, will take on the South Boston Speedway, and it is going to be a packed house tomorrow night, a full field for the first time in quite a while for the late model stock division here. This is heat race number 1 for the Modified division here. Corey Tesner really starting to close in on the back bumper of Kyle Fountain here, riding out the front bumper of Kyle Fountain. You see Corey Tesner knocking here on the back door. What will Corey Tesner do here in the turns 3 and 4? Corey Tesner's going to try on the middle side of the racetrack here as they head off turns 1 and 2 here. It's going to be 7 laps to go. It's going to be 6. Corey Tesner gets tied up there just a tad bit there, trying to battle with the number 59 of Kyle Fountain. Kyle Fountain's really able to hold his position quite well there off of turns 3 and 4. Corey Tesner, excuse me, all over the place here on the Wheeling Modified division. These guys are absolutely flying over about 130 miles an hour into these corners, ladies and gentlemen. Down the back straightaway, Corey Riptide Tesner will cut the fastest lap on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Neil Rudd III is pulling away with the race lead here from Showtime Chase Johnson. This Union Beach team has came all the way here tonight in Richmond, Virginia to try to make something shake here. Down on the bottom side of the racetrack, though, that number 66 really able to hold on and grip up quite well. Here's Kyle Fountain really open up the door here to Corey Tesner as they battle down here in the turns 3 and 4. Corey Tesner not going to have no for an answer here. Down on the bottom side, he's looking to undercut the number 59, Kyle Fountain. Really able to grip up off turns 3 and 4 there and hold his position on the outside, but the battle's on here for the third place spot. A little Nerf bar banging there from Corey Riptide Tesner to Big Country Kyle Fountain. Kyle Fountain, country, not hillbilly. Big difference here. Kyle Fountain, though, knowing to rattle a couple cages. He'll undercut the number 10 right here. But Corey Tesner here trying to battle back across the front stretch. Finish line as Nicholas Maynard sails in right behind him here. 3 laps to go on the Booty Scoot Racing channel here at the Wheeling Modified division. Live from the Richmond Raceway, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the all-new camera package here for the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you head on over to the YouTube page located in the top right of your screen as the white flag is out. Next time around, Chase Johnson scrubs the outside wall there. Ladies and gentlemen, you stick around, I promise you it'll be one hell of a show here tonight. Down the back straightaway, it's going to be a white flag this time around for the number 66 Wheeling Modified of Neil Rudd III. He'll still off of turn 4, ready to flagman. He'll throw the white flag presented by AFLglobal.com. Down into turns 1 and 2 here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Showtime Chase Johnson will have one more opportunity at the back bumper of Neil Rutt, but Neil Rutt sailing away down into turns 3 and 4. Everybody able to hold this one really clean here. It's going to be Neil Rutt hanging off of corners 3 and 4 here. He'll come across the line. Chase Johnson will get the second place spot, followed by Corey Tester, Kyle Fallon. Here comes the kid of Nicholas Maynard, and Alex Money Morales is off the racetrack. Neil Rutt will win the heat race. He'll start on the pole here tonight. The Union Beach Modified had some speed in it, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to kick on over to heat race number 2. What an absolute show there, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for those guys in heat race number 1. Really able to bring you quite the action here around the Richmond Raceway here, and not quite ready where you see them wheeling modified here, but getting ready to kick off heat race number 2 here. 6 more drivers getting ready to kick it on here for 15 more laps around the Richmond Raceway, starting on pole for heat race number 2. Driving the Precision 01 wheeling modified. That's the playoff driver of Joshua Thornton. Jeremy Douglas driving the Baxter T&E Roofing wheeling modified from Augusta, Maine. That's going to be Jeremy Douglas. Starting in the 3rd place spot here, down on the bottom side, driving the number 99 Boardwick modified from New Bern. That's Dakota Pignataro. Starting on the outside of him from Middletown, New Jersey, driving the 3rd Boardwick modified here tonight. That's the number 14 of Mike Doyle. Rounding out the back half here on the last row, driving the number 24 Country Time wheeling modified from Greenville, South Carolina, playoff driver James Fowler. Starting on the inside of him, driving the chromed out silver and pink wheeling modified. That's the Boogeyman, your mom's favorite driver. The number 23 from Greer, South Carolina, on the bottom of the cut list here, looking to walk his way into the championship race here tonight. From Greer, South Carolina, that's John Michael Bryan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you came for right here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Getting ready to go racing here in the Wheeling Modified Division in heat race number 2. It's going to be Joshua Thornton leading them through the Geico restart zone. Here we go. Green. Here in heat race number 2 for the Wheeling Modified Division. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Thornton jumps out to a really quick jump early there. Excuse me for the camera cut there. Joshua Thornton up off the corner though, ladies and gentlemen. Every lap led is 1 point added to your total score. Joshua Thornton here going to be the race leader, battling his way through turns 3 and 4 in the first lap. So heat race number 2, really needing these laps led here and these points added to his total score as he lags about 5 points behind the number 23 of John Michael Bryan. These two absolutely going at it here for that final spot as a couple guys don't show up to the racetrack here tonight. Joshua Thornton big loose off the corner though. That'll open up the door for Dakota Pignataro here through turns 3 and 4. Driving that number 99 wheeling modified. James Fallon's up here already, 3 spots. 2 laps into heat race number 2. That Country Time is wasting no time trying to drive his way to the front. Up off turns 1 and 2 here, Joshua Thornton's really able to hold on the race lead here. Side by side from the 2nd place spot, it's going to be James Fallon and the number 99 of Dakota. Dakota will try the top side of the racetrack here, but James Fallon's really able to hold on there on the bottom side. And that opened up the door for Mike Doyle. Here comes the number 14 Boardwick modified down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. 12 laps remain in heat race number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Heat race number 2 will determine the outside line here, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Jeremy Douglas will snack the outside wall there just a tad big with that right side Nerf bar. The back to the G&E Roofing late model here, really able to hold on to it there through the corner, but not able to pass John Michael Bryan as the Boogeyman of John Michael Bryan. See if we can't get an onboard shot riding around with the Boogeyman here at the Richmond Raceway. John Michael Bryan not able to get his foot down there off of turn 2 down the back straightaway here. And the battle's on up here in front of him as he sees, looks like going to be James Fallon battling it out right now with Joshua Thornton for that race lead already with 10 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is on here for this race lead and possibly the heat win here as we've been clean so far up here to this point. No caution flags for heat race number 1 that just sit there and saw Neil Rutt absolutely dominate and lead every lap in heat race number 1. Meanwhile, Joshua Thornton's got some company here on the back door from James Fallon, riding on board with James Fallon from Greenville, South Carolina, as he really tries to run down that number 01. You see the shock set up inside the number 24 country time wheeling modified. James Fallon really able to compress the left front there, low right into the banking here. And this D-shaped asphalt oval with Richmond, Virginia. James Fallon will cut the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around. Meanwhile, Mike Dole and Dakota Pignataro battling it out here. Two Boardwick modifieds absolutely going at it. It says Allied on the back of the race car, but they don't have to act like it right here in heat race number 2 when you're trying to set your spot here on the outside of the row. 8 laps to go here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. The battle is on here for the race lead. James Fountain says, you can't get me on the inside. I just have to try it on the bottom side, but Joshua Thornton says, I really need these points here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel here. Please don't give me too much hassle here. The number 24 country time wheeling modified really able to hold up on the outside. They'll drive off the corner door to door. Joshua Thornton will get a bit loose though, and that should open up the door for James Bell. Joshua Thornton really able to play defense here at the turn 22 as he'll drive back up the top side of the racetrack. There's no bar contact made there between the number 24 and 01 of Joshua Thornton and James Bell. The battle is on here for heat race number 2. Joshua Thornton will lose the race lead, but that goes without leading 7 laps first, so 7 points already added to the total of Joshua Thornton. Also desperately needing those points here. It's John Michael Bryant currently riding out the back half of heat race number 2 here. John Michael Bryant, what will be the plan for him here as Joshua Thornton has closed the gap up here. Only had a 5-point gap coming into the ninth event with those laps led by Joshua Thornton here. Joshua Thornton should definitely overcome John Michael Bryant for the first one out here on the points. 4 laps to go though in heat race number 2. Anything's possible. It's James Fountain here starting to run away with the race lead here, but Joshua Thornton is not going to go away. He is determined to get back here to the race lead. You're riding out the front bumper of the number 01 of Joshua Thornton. Joshua Thornton in that precision modified, trying to do everything right, be precise here on the outside, but he'll straight the outside wall as the sparks fly across the front stretch here in the wheeling modified division for heat race number 2. We've been clean so far, 3 laps to go. This Boardwick modified right here, Dakota Pignataro slaps the outside wall as he's able to hold on to it. Really great driving there for the number 99 driver here of Dakota. Really, he's making his second start here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. His first for the wheeling modified division. 2 laps to go here in heat race number 1, and the battle for the race lead is starting to shake away here. As you look at James Fountain head off turn 2, he'll slap the outside wall. Riding out the ascent bumper cam of James Fountain here. This should open up the door for Joshua Thornton. One more time here, a white flag is in the air for James Fountain here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel, presented by AFLglobal.com. The country time wheeling modified of James Fountain really able to work up off the bottom side of the racetrack there. Joshua Thornton will get loose off the corner though, and everybody else will slap the wall as well though, but that'll open up the doors. Freddie the flagman has the checker flag in the air for the number 24 country wheeling modified of James Fountain as he'll pick up his 4th heat race win here on the season for the I-85 Asphalt Series wheeling modified division. Give the 2nd place spot to Joshua Thornton. Dakota Pignataro the 3rd place spot, followed by Mike Dole, John Michael Bryant, and Jeremy Douglas. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to switch over here to the I-85 Asphalt Series wheeling modified division feature here tonight, scheduled for 60 laps around the Richmond Raceway underneath the lights here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. But ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't do this without the soldiers supporting us out there on the battlefield. We'll switch it on over for the night's national anthem, and we ask you guys to rise and stand as you're able to for tonight's Star Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go racing here in the wheeling modified division. For the final playoff race here tonight, we will set our final 4 drivers here at the Richmond Raceway. This is the cutoff race. Ladies and gentlemen, we're packed out here tonight for 56,000 asses in the stands, I believe. As we'll switch it on over to tonight's track fact here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Get you all locked up, ready to go here for the speed. For tonight's WHELEN Modified Playoff race, open in 1946, these guys are getting ready to take on a 0.75 mile asphalt D-shaped oval with 51,000 sold out asses here tonight. The only seat available was in the standing section only, right outside the Toyota zone here in Richmond, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moments away from the warm-up session being done right around the corner from the driver introductions, and we want to go ahead and show you guys the playoff race point standings right before we get ready to tackle it on here. John Michael Bryant currently the first person out on the points list, but after Joshua Thornton picks up a couple laps led there in the heat race, John Michael Bryant will lose that gap right there that he has over the number 01 of Joshua Thornton. So John Michael Bryant's going to have some work here to do in tonight's main event. Ladies and gentlemen, the WHELEN Modified guys are starting to pile in to these cars after the Star Spangled Banner. We'll be back in just a moment here, moments away with the driver's introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here tonight for the playoff race for the WHELEN Modified Division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. One race remains after tonight at the South Boston Speedway. Looks like everybody's loaded in. Starting on the pole tonight, winning heat race number 1 from Union Beach, driving the number 66 Boardwick WHELEN Modified. That's gonna be Neil Rutt. Starting on the outside row here on the front row, driving the pink and yellow Country 24 WHELEN Modified. That's James Fountain. Starting on the bottom side, third place spot here tonight, driving the number 91 from Greer, South Carolina. That's going to be Chase Johnson. Starting in the fourth place spot here tonight, driving the number 01 Precision Modified. Needing a great run here tonight for the playoffs. That's Joshua Thornton. Starting in the fifth place spot here tonight, driving the number 99 Boardwick WHELEN Modified from New Bern. That's Dakota Pignataro. Starting on the inside of him, driving the number 10 Mayhew WHELEN Modified. That's going to be Corey Riptide Tetzner. Starting in the number 59 Jim Fountain Racing WHELEN Modified. Tyler's Pub of the Bear from Clemson, South Carolina. Cousin Big Country Kyle Fountain. Starting on the outside here, driving the number 14 Boardwick Modified from Middletown, New Jersey. That's going to be Mike Doyle. Starting in the number 23 Rogue WHELEN Modified, looking to get his way to the championship race, your mom's favorite driver, John Michael Bryant. Starting in the 10th place spot here tonight, driving the number 02 WHELEN Modified from Welford, South Carolina. That's the kid of Nicholas Maynard. Starting in the 11th place spot here tonight, driving the MLS WHELEN Modified, the number 7 from Elk Grove, California, Alex Young Money Morales. Rounding out the tail end of the field here tonight, the playoff driver, driving the Baxter G&E Roofing WHELEN Modified from Augusta, Maine. That's going to be Jeremy Douglas. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt wins the pole here tonight in heat race number 1. He'll be the guy in charge here to the front to lead him to the green flag. It's going to be underneath his foot. Freddie the flagman's going to hang the fat left on the pit road. We're getting ready to go racing here at the Richmond Raceway. Throw your hands up. Neil Rutt slaps on the gas. We're green here at the Richmond Raceway for the WHELEN Modified Division, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Down into turns 1 and 2 here. 12 cars coming right through your living room, flying. Ladies and gentlemen, contacts made there. Joshua Thornton down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Caution flag flies here. It looks like Jeremy Douglas in the number 21 WHELEN Modified gets collected right there with Alex Morales. We had contact back there with Joshua Thornton and Chase Johnson as well. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, as we always do, for an instant replay. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 91 of Chase Johnson from the front of the back here all the way back to the back here. Contacts made with Joshua Thornton. Alex Young Money Morales has already turned around here off the back corner, but it looks like it started up here with Showtime Chase Johnson. We'll back that ass up here right on board with Chase Johnson. It looks like contact was made here between him and Corey Tester and Joshua Thornton. And that wasn't really much of a great angle there as Alex Morales is spun off the back stretch there. This should be a good angle right here down the back straightaway, showing us exactly what the hell just happened. It's Showtime Chase Johnson was working his way down the back straightaway. Joshua Thornton down on the bottom side. They work off the bottom side. The caution flag flies. And Young Money Alex Morales looks like he just spins off turn 2 there, getting loose. And that number 7 MLS Wheeling Modified from Elk Grove, California, doesn't seem like it has much damage on it, but he's able to hold on to it. The AMR safety crews out here on the racetrack. They'll clean up the oil spill down here, and these guys will throw up some sand and shit on top of the back straightaway. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the WHELEN Modified Division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Underneath the caution flag for the first time here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. This is the final cutoff race for the playoffs for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 drivers made the playoffs. 6 of them will go home tonight without that championship run in hand. 4 of them will advance to the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, as it looks like we're going to get the one to go green racing this time around. Kind of walk you through the playoffs here. James Fountain in this number 24 Country Time WHELEN Modified mathematically already almost locked his way into that championship race. He just needs a great run here tonight and stay out of trouble. Joshua Thornton picks up the laps needed there in his heat race to cut into that deficit between him and John Michael Bryant. He currently has the deficit points. It's John Michael Bryant as they run. Corey Riptide Tesner comes into the night's event. Second best on the point schedule for the WHELEN Modifieds division for the playoffs. He's almost mathematically got himself locked in. He just needs a great run here tonight in that number 10. Showtime Chase Johnson comes into the night's event, the regular season points leader. He'll win the regular season points champion. That gives him the plus 10 needed to start in the playoffs here, but he's been dominating all year long. He's got about a 200-point lead. He definitely for sure has mathematically locked his way to that championship race. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Mayer will be pulled from the playoffs here. He'll pull himself out of the playoffs, so he won't be racing for a playoff spot or a chance at the championship race here tonight, driving the number 02. But on the outside of him will be a hungry number 23, Rogue WHELEN Modified of John Michael Bryant, who will do anything in his power to try to get himself into the playoffs. Coming from the back of the pack here tonight. And then Jeremy Douglas driving the number 21 right here, looking to make his way through the field. He's currently way down on the points list, but definitely not out of it here. About a 12-point difference between the first one in and the last one out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be under Neil Rutt's foot here through the Geico restart zone. Back green here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at the Richmond Raceway for the WHELEN Modified Division. Down here, the turns 1 and 2 are going to be 3 wide. They're able to sort it out, though. It's going to be 2 Gordwick Modifieds door to door through turns 1 and 2. Off a corner, here's going to be 2 Allied Modifieds. They're not going to do each other any kind of favors. They'll bank dirt bars, down the back straightaway here, heading through turns 3 and 4. 7 laps complete this time around. Neil Rudd able to pull away with a race lead, and Corey Tessner's moved up to that 3rd place spot as he pulls wheel to wheel with James Fountain. James Fountain has to get the spot up here, so Corey Tessner will move up here to the 2nd place spot on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Mike Dole here able to get around Dakota Pignataro here, searching their way through turns 3 and 4, trying to climb up the racetrack here, searching for grip. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys are going to have to hold on to these race cars all night long, as these guys will have 0 sets of tires. James Fountain will clip the apron there, and he'll go around. Caution flag will fly as contacts made there with Joshua Thornton. Several guys involved here. Contacts made here on the back straightaway. The wheeling caution light is on right here in front of your face. Looks like for the number 24, James Fountain here driving that Country Time WHELEN Modified. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel As we always do here, to take a look here as the country time goes to a so not good time here for the number 24 of James Fountain here. He was scooting and booting, as we say here, on the Moody Scoot Racing channel off of turns 1 and 2. We'll back that ass up and take a look with the number 24, see if we can't ride on board him. As he comes off the corner here, looks like he just collects the apron here, has it locked down though, but collected here by a couple other guys. Joshua Thornton's going to go around here. Playoff driver involved in a little bit of an accident here. So Young Money Alex Morales is able to get through this one this time here. Joshua Thornton will come and give a little bumper there, right there on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. The caution flag is out for the second time tonight. Everybody able to gather up these race cars though. Nicholas Maynard will fall into the tail end of the field. Looks like Mike Dole had to come down pit road and assess the damage. But he'll be able to keep it going here. One fast repair on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Flat left front tire for Mike Dole from Middletown, New Jersey. Back in a moment. Back here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel, Mike Dole makes his way off the pit road. Here comes Peter the pace car. We're underneath the caution flag for the second time here tonight. As we went caution free inside of the heat race, it looks like Jeremy Douglas is going to bring that WHELEN Modified down pit road to get the damage addressed. Excuse me, as I'm starting to fumble in my words here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been action all over the racetrack. James Fountain, Heat Race 2 winner down on pit road, getting the damage fixed on his number 24, Country Time WHELEN Modified. Neil Rutt III from Union Beach has been whooping ass all night long. He led every lap in heat race number 1. Won the heat race, started on the pole. He's been out front so far. We've worked about 7 caution flag laps here tonight. Out of the 10 red, so about 3 green flag laps for the number 66 here as he's ready to get it going here tonight. Corey Tesla rounds out the front row with him. Kyle Fountain, John Michael Bryant's going to be nerf bar to nerf bar here on the restart here. So we're cooking up a recipe for disaster on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. See how things shake out. Hopefully these guys can get it together here. We're scheduled for 60 laps around the Richmond Raceway here. We got 3 overtimes in the main. That's why you see the 69 laps on the left side of the screen, but that's only if we need them. The number 66, Neil Rutt's going to be the race leader here on the restart. Corey Tesner will be on the outside. Chase Johnson around out the 3rd place spot on the bottom side. Dakota Pignataro here, the number 99 Borwick Modified will round out the 4th place spot. We got the image of the Boogeyman, your mom's favorite driver down here in the 3rd place spot, 4th place spot on the bottom, 5th place spot down here, excuse me, on the bottom side. Kyle Fountain to get the 6th place spot. You see everybody else scattering their way through the field here. Peter the pace car should hang the lights off on top of that big jacked up truck of his that he oh so desperately needs a tune-up on here. And it looks like he will. Chase Johnson will go down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. No lane choice here for the modified division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are now just tuning in here, this is the final playoff race here tonight for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. 2 weeks from now, we'll take on the championship race at the South Boston Speedway, and it should be one hell of an event. I swear to you, ladies and gentlemen, you look in here tomorrow night, we're going to be packed out at the South Boston Speedway. You don't want to miss it. James Fountain will be there. Nicholas Maynard should be there. Kyle Fountain might show up as well. You never know who you'll find here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. It's going to be Neil Rutt running through the Geico restart zone here. Get ready to go back racing at the Richmond Raceway. Green flag is in the air. Nicholas Maynard will pull down the bottom side of the racetrack here. Maybe a fire on the restart here. Maybe missed fire, something chipping through here. But we're 3 wide for the race lead here through turns 3 and 4. I mean 1 and 2, excuse me. Off the corner there. Neil Rutt III's able to hold on to the race lead, but here comes Showtime Chase Johnson, the 4-time winner. He'll make nerf bars there as the sparks fly through turns 3 and 4. Neil Rutt will stick down on the top side of the racetrack here and allow Chase Johnson to have to up the racetrack here to get a better angle. Chase Johnson will slide job for the race lead. Neil Rutt will work down on the bottom side here. The race is on, excuse me, for the race lead here. The number 66, and Neil Rutt will try right back down here on the bottom side. That'll open up the door for Chase Johnson here. He's got to really hold on to that race car, giving it to Neil Rutt. He'll battle back for the race lead. These guys absolutely going at it, trading nerf bar bangs there. You see the sparks fly off the number 66 Borwick Modified. Neil Rutt III takes back the race lead here as we got 15 laps completed out of the schedule. 60 here for the night for the Richmond Raceway. Everybody else trying to single file their way back up here to catch the back half of the pass. Kyle Fountain's trying to run down that number 99 machine of Dakota Pignataro, riding on board with the number 99 of Dakota. Dakota tries every bit in his scrap book to make sure that he can save every bit of Hoosier tire on top of these modified cars. No sense of tires to go pit for here in the modified division. Only one fast repair. If she wasn't not to go your way, Kyle Fountain works his way back down here to the bottom side of the racetrack there. John Michael Bryant collects the bottom side of the paint there in front of you. You see out the front bumper cam a big country Kyle Fountain as he sails down the back straightaway. Door to door here. Here comes James Fountain. He'll cut the fastest lap on the racetrack. That last time around, Joshua Thornton goes around here, but I believe, yes, the caution flag will fly here for the number 01 of Joshua Thornton here as you see him trying to knock the marbles and the glass blades off the number 01 here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll back that ass up here right along with the number 01 of Joshua Thornton. See, he looks like he got a little bit loose off turns 3 and 4 there. Goes around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll back it up here as him and James Fountain be going at it. Not what Joshua Thornton needed here, battling for that spot in the championship race. And you see them just battling a loose condition there off the corner. Able to lock it down, though. But he's all the way down there in the grass. He's got all kinds of grass on the left front tires here. You see him trying to clean off that WHELEN modified. Don't want to get any grass blades inside the carburetor cap here. Inside of these modifieds here can really start fucking with the oil inside of these race cars with the precision. 01 of Joshua Thornton. Got it going back straight here. We'll take a commercial break and be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere.
Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Going mainstream. Flow like water, so
back here to the Booty Scoot Racing channel, live here from the Richmond Raceway underneath the caution flag for the third time here tonight. Neil Rutt, the Heat Race 1 winner, is still out front here. He's led every lap from the pole almost up to this point, besides Chase Johnson got around there. For a brief second there, the battle was on for the race lead between these three late models of these three modifieds of Corey Tesner, Chase Johnson, and Neil Roy. It looks like we're getting ready to go back racing this next time around. Corey Tesner cuts the fastest lap on the racetrack there right before we get ready to go underneath the caution flag. Underneath the WHELEN caution light cam here as we got 12 modified drivers looking to walk themselves into the championship race if they're eligible. Neil Roy comes in part-time. He's looking to spoil the party here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. The crowd roars here. They've been turning up over here in turns 3 and 4. They got no grandstands, but they damn sure can have a good time with these RVs. I've seen a guy out here. He was baking some barbecue chicken, and it smelled damn good here. Looks like Peter the Pace Car's got the flag standing straight up, which gives me the signal to tell you guys we're getting ready to go racing here side by side through the turn 1 cam here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in here. Slap that like button, press that follow button, check out the YouTube page in the top right of your screen. Head on over, subscribe to the YouTube page to watch the whole full season from the modified division. One more race after this. These guys are absolutely hungry. 39 more laps when we get ready to go back racing here. Remaining in tonight's event, Corey Tesner on the outside, Neil Rutt on the inside. Neil Rutt's going to be in charge to the Geico restart zone. Neil Rutt's able to slap back on the gas here, flying through your living room in the turn 1 and 2, ripping back through the gears here in the modified division. The Allied number 66 of Neil Rutt really able to hold his ground there through turn 22 down on the bottom side. Corey Tesner all over the back bumper though. His contact's made back here between James Fountain and older brother Kyle Fountain. Kyle Fountain slides up the side of the racetrack here. The two Fountain brothers are battle door to door here. 3 wide across the Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show these drivers are putting on here tonight. 3 wide here in Richmond. Fountain on the outside. Pignataro on the inside. Fountain on the bottom side again. They're able to get their way through it. Contact's made. Big shot there to the bow. Marks on the inside wall. Caution flag flies here for the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. Dakota Pignataro. This isn't Burger King, and he was not having it his way there as he takes a hard shot down on the bottom side, inside safer barrier, whatever the hell you want to call it. Dakota Pignataro, not happy with the way that he was raced right there. 3 wide off the corner between him and both Fountain brothers. So a little bit of shaking and baking here between the two Fountain brothers, trying to get it done here, battling 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. We'll watch that all the way back here. These guys were absolutely shitting and getting, as we like to call it here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, down into turns 1 and 2. Both Fountain brothers here got sandwiched in the middle of Dakota Pignataro. They come off the corner. Looks like contact was made there between Kyle Fountain and Dakota Pignataro. Just a huge shot here on the bottom side of the inside safer barrier for the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. But it looks like he's able to get that thing refire there. See if we can't get that onboard cam. There we are, riding on board with Dakota Pignataro. He'll adjust the Hans device after taking a lick right there on the back straightaway. But he's able to get it going here. The caution flag is out here for the 4th time here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take that quick commercial break. Dakota still moving around on the racetrack. Tons of 99 fans started packing up their shit. Don't go nowhere. Excuse me, if it would ever show up here, we'll try another one here. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division, presented to you by Maccabee Auto Services, LLC. Contact them today, 864-256-1346, or email them at maccabeeautorepair.com or at gmail.com. They'll get you hooked up today, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the remaining schedule for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. 2 weeks from now, we head to our championship race at the South Boston Speedway, and you aren't going to want to miss a thing here. We'll cut the music down while we're underneath the caution flag here, getting ready to go back racing underneath the caution flag for the 4th time here tonight. As tons of playoff drivers have already had some problems here. You see the front bumper there, Joshua Thornton, and that number 01 already tore all the shreds here. We're only 25 laps into tonight's event, 26. I guess now would be the time to mention the number 23 Road Wheeling Modified of John Michael Bryant, who has worked his way up 6 spots from where he has started right now, where he currently runs in the 4th place spot. The Greer, South Carolina driver trying to sneak his way into the championship race. The battle is between him and Joshua Thornton. What I'm being told by the admin, Freddie the Flagman, has the stick straight up and down, telling us we're getting ready to go racing here. Peter the pace car will flick you the bird as he drives on by, telling you to fuck off. Getting ready to go back racing here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. 27 laps are complete here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Neil Rutt III is the race leader and heat race winner of heat race number 1. Corey Riptide Tester going left to right there on the outside, trying to clean the marbles off the Mayhew Modified. He'll look to try to jump out from the restart zone right here and get his way to the front of the back here. Corey Tester already almost mathematically locked in here. So he doesn't need a win, but a win would damn sure help the confidence back green here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel in the Wheeling Modified Division. Fly through your living room, down in the turns 1 and 2 here. Flying off of turns 2, down the back straightaway, looking out the wheeling caution light cam. Everybody able to really hold on to their race cars there. Big contact right there made between the number 7 of Alex Morales with Joshua Thornton. They're able to sort it out though. That brought them right to the back bumper of Mike Doyle. Mike Doyle's still back out here on the racetrack trying to make something shake. Chase Johnson here will move up to the 3rd place spot. John Michael Brown will door to door here. Third part with James Ballard down the back straightaway here. Halfway complete next time around. The battle for the race lead is on here between Corey Tessner and Neil Rutt III. Ladies and gentlemen, get your cameras out. This is going to be a show here. Corey Tessner down on the bottom side here. Neil Rutt will try the middle, /top side, whatever the hell you want to call it here. Big loose off the corner there for the number 66 but so was the number 10 of Corey Tessner. They're able to battle their car through the corner, excuse me. That's really opened up the door for Chase Johnson. What some amazing racing around the Richmond Raceway here tonight for the modified division. These guys know what's in plan and what's in store here at the other side of a victory or a really good performance here tonight. Big contacts made for the outside wall there between the number 66 and Corey Riptide Tessner. Looks like he might be able to clear over the number 66. He will for the race lead. But Neil Rutt said, no the hell you won't. I'll jump right down here down the bottom side of the racetrack. And these two guys are absolutely fucking going at it here at the Richmond Raceway, battling their far off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Here comes Chase Johnson. Knock, knock, knock. He wants to play a little game. It's called bumper cars down in a turn 1 and 2. These three guys could throw an absolute sheer blanket over. That's how close they are. Corey Tessner will try the undercut off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Alex Morales will make contact to the outside wall. Corey Tessner has to get about the gas there to the number 66 and Neil Rutt so he doesn't run him over. So well criticized IQ driving there from the number 10 mate who modified him. Corey Tessner, he'll change his lineup just a tad bit there, excuse me. Through turns 1 and 2, it looks like Corey Tessner is a tad bit better through turns 2 than the number 66 and Neil Rutt. Neil Rutt will try turns 3 and 4 down on the bottom side here. Any more battles shaking out through the field. These guys are absolutely putting on a show here around the Richmond Raceway. You don't see modifieds around here quite often, but right here on the Booty Shoe Racing channel is where you'll find it. We're bringing you racing each and every single week. James Spountman putting on a show here. He's already pissed off here from going around there, bringing out one of the caution flags. He's blowing himself right back up here to this 4th place spot. Currently sitting in the top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the playoff battle tonight. John Michael Bryant, Joshua Thornton. These two guys are going to be going at it all night long here, battling for these point spots here for the playoff. One guy has a spot and a chance to make it to the championship race. Who will it be? John Michael Bryant really trying to play defense here on the bottom side of the racetrack for that position number 01 modified. Joshua Thornton to try that on the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll think better of it here and come back in here. Joshua Thornton trying everything he's got in that number 01 modified to get it done. Riding on board with John Michael Bryant down the back straightaway here as he tries to hold and defend off this top 5 spot. Contacts made there, door banging, door to door, nerf bar there with Joshua Thornton. The battle's on here for the 5th place spot. Joshua Thornton will move the boogeyman. That'll do nothing but rattle the cage of the 23 machine and piss him off. John Michael Bryant will collect the bottom side paint right there. Really got to hold on, jump about the gas, and he'll lose the momentum here. Contacts made back here. They'll go around. Caution flag and flies here on the back straightaway. Caution flag flies back here. Looks like for the number 21 Wheelen modified. That's the Baxter modified of Jeremy Douglas. We'll back that ass up here. Don't look like much damage to the number 21, but we've seen Alex Young Money Morales getting loose off the corner there. We'll back that ass up here for an instant replay, kind of show you what the hell just happened as we were absolutely seeing these two shit and go at it here. John Michael Bryant, nerf bar to nerf bar with Joshua Thornton. Contact was made. We'll back that ass up here so we can take a look and see exactly how the number 01 got around that number 23 machine of John Michael Bryant's. Contact was made. Got to use the nerf bars here on the I-85 Asphalt Series. We'll take a look here. John Michael Bryant, Joshua Thornton going it out. Joshua Thornton to shoot the number 23 up the racetrack here. Just some short track racing here. That opened up the door for the number 14 of Mike Doyle. Mike Doyle thinks better of it here, but the contact was made with up here. Looks like Alex Young Money Morales was back here. This number 7 modified. And he maybe got spooked from what he's seen up in front of him. We'll take a look here. They cut off turns 1 and 2 here. Looks like net coat contact there between the number 27. That'll shoot come out found almost airborne there. Hard shot to the inside sacred barrier of the number 21 of Jeremy Douglas. Young Money Alex Morales has a flat right front tire on that modified. He'll have to come down pit road and get that thing addressed. We're underneath the caution flag here though for the 6th time here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take that quick commercial break. Young Money Morales, flat right front tire. We'll have to get that thing addressed. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel underneath the caution flag here tonight for the Wheelen Modified Division for the Asphalt Series. For the 6th time underneath the Wheelen caution light cam here, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you why we're underneath the caution flag. What would you do for a chance at a championship here in the Modified Division here? We'll pull up the playoff point before tonight's event started. This is how they currently run. Chase Johnson, Corey Tesner, James Fowler. Almost mathematically impossible to catch those 3 guys on point in the championship race. So they're almost mathematically got themselves locked into that championship race. So there's one open spot. Andrew Allen doesn't show up here tonight to the racetrack here. So it's between John Michael Bryant and Joshua Thornton. As Chris Noddy will miss tonight's event. And so will Travo Wall, and Jeremy Douglas is trying his ever living hard out here tonight to stay competitive with the rest of these guys. So that's why you see John Michael Bryant and Joshua Thornton absolutely beating the ever-living shit out of these race cars. Down the back stretch here for the final time underneath the caution flag. The lights are off on Peter the Pace car. 19 laps remain here for the Wheelen Modified Division. Scheduled for 69 up there on your ticker for the overtime if we need them, or if you're just that damn curious. Looks like it's going to be in the hand of Neil Rutt III when we get ready to jump back to the restart here. He'll jump back on the gas. Back green here on the Richmond Racing channel for the Wheelen Modified Division. Sell it back through your living room here. Ladies and gentlemen, can these drivers really keep these cars together here? We'll ride down here with a couple of these drivers on board here for the final 18 laps on the night's event. The number 14 of Mike Dole here will have to get the position up there, the number 01. Joshua Thornton. Joshua Thornton's really trying his ever-living hard out here to keep that number 23 Wheelie Modified of John Michael Bryant behind him, as he knows this might be the difference between a championship spot and going home here empty-handed racing 2 weeks from now. With just pride here as these guys are heading to South Boston to take on the championship race. Nicholas Maynard back here battling hard with Money Alex Morales. John Michael Bryant will pull to the inside. Nerf bar here. Mike Dole, they'll battle their way down here to turn 3 and 4. Mike Dole will shoot up the racetrack. Kyle Fallon with a huge save down there on the bottom side of the racetrack there for the number 59 from Clemson, South Carolina. Big country Kyle Fallon doing hillbilly things, driving the ever-living shit out of his race car here. Family-owned team trying everything here tonight to try to get his way to the front of the pack. Not eligible for the playoff run, but he definitely does want to get to the front of the pack here. Looks like Jeremy Douglas is shoved up the racetrack by Alex Young Money Morales. Move out of the way. Here comes Young Money Alex Morales down on the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll battle Nerf bar with the number 59 of Kyle Fountain. And Kyle Fountain is a play-no-games type of driver. You mess with him, he'll give it right back to you. Tyler's Pub at the pier.com. Down here on the bottom side of the racetrack on the race car for Kyle Fountain here. Go check him out in South Carolina. His football season's right around the corner. Go get you some wings today at Tyler's Pub at the Pier. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is on right here as Mike Dole is trying to run down this number 23 machine. You're riding out the ass end of Joshua Thornton. That's the guy that's backing on his back door right there, John Michael Bryant. That's who he's running from here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Looks like contact made up here. With the battle for up here, looks like going to be the second and third place spot between Corey Riptide Tesner, James Fallon, and Chase Johnson. Absolutely going at it. Here comes Joshua Thornton into the picture. Joshua Thornton has not been up here in the top 5 much all season long. With a chance to go to the championship race here tonight. He's pulling every trick out of the bag that he knows necessary here to try to get around this country top modified. He'll work the inside quarter panel with the number 24. He'll get it. They're farther across the front stretch here, the Richmond Raceway. Down into turn 22, Nerf bar to Nerf bar. Contacts made between the number 24 and 01. Joshua Thornton is on a mission here around the Richmond Raceway, putting Nerf bars to people. He'll ship John Michael Bryant up the racetrack, and he'll move James Fallon 20 laps ago this time around here on the racetrack. What would you do for a chance at a championship spot 2 weeks from now at South Boston? You're living the dream right here with Joshua Thornton here. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like Mike Dole will cut the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around. He won't this time. And John Michael Bryant will play a little bit of defense there and cut off the number 14, Kyle Fountain, about door to door here with Alex Young Money Morales. As they work their way down here to turn 1 and 2. The number 7 makes contact with the number 59 of Kyle Fountain. That's big brother Kyle Fountain. Again, Kyle Fountain, a no game playing type of driver here. He will absolutely put it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like showtime. Chase Johnson here, 3 wide with Joshua Thornton. It's Joshua Thornton. Will not be denied here at the Richmond Raceway here. He'll lift a little bit early here, trying to be precautious about what he does with the number 91 of Chase Johnson. Chase Johnson can race however the hell he would like, as he knows he'll be racing for a championship 2 weeks from now. But almost over a 100-point lead over some of these guys down the back front straightaway here. 16 laps to go here on the Richmond Racing Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, 13 laps to go. We got 4 in the bank for the overtime if we need them. 2 attempts at it. Contacts made there to the back. The outside safer barrier looks like Kyle Fountain will collect the right rear of that modified to the outside wall. Kyle Fountain comes over the radio, says, I think I just maybe have been a little bit of the right spring. We're looking on the inside, a little bit of damage there to the number 59 of Kyle Fountain's inside of his suspension to that number 59. Can he hold on to it? This number 59's got a ton of speed here. He's starting to pull away from Young Money. Alex Morales looks like Nicholas Maynard's rounding out the tail half of the field here. Not eligible for the championship race with that qualifying spot here. Driving in the turns 1 and 2 here. Joshua Thornton will put the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around down the back straightaway. 1, 2, 3 of them will reflect the outside safer barrier off of turn 2. Joshua Thornton has a hard charge, and James Fallon all over the back bumper here. John Michael Bryant, speaking of hard charger, currently up 4 spots to where he started. He'll scrape the outside wall. It'll get stuck there. And he's lucky Mike Doyle will cut him a break here off of turns 1 and 2. John Michael Bryant battling everything inside of that race car. "11 laps remain here. Ladies and gentlemen, what would you do for a chance at a championship spot 2 weeks from now? Neil Rutt III doesn't give a damn. He's trying to spoil the party here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. John Michael Bryant and Joshua Thornton, the first 2 guys in and out. James Fallon will make a little bit of contact there with Joshua Thornton. They work their way through turns 3 and 4. The battle is on here. Joshua Thornton will not be denied. He'll work his way right back across the front nerf bar. But James Fallon, 12 laps to go here on the Moody Scoop Racing Channel. I apologize, -4 for that, 2-4 for the overtime. They keep bucking it up, but these guys keep making doors here. Joshua Thornton hard on the outside wall. Caution flag flies here. Big contact made. A pile up here. Joshua Thornton airborne. Nicholas Maynard tore up back here on the back straightaway as well. Caution flag flies here at the Richmond Raceway. Big contact there for Joshua Thornton. Jeremy Douglas involved as well, and so is Nicholas Maynard. We got flat right front tires and left front tires all over this back straightaway. We will back that ass up. Ladies and gentlemen, disaster here for the number 01 of Joshua Thornton. Got the laps led in his heat race. Not what he needed. Just needed to finish in front of John Michael Bryant here. Damage late. Will battle back here with the number 24 of James Fountain for about 3 or 4 laps. We'll back that ass up. We'll take a look here and see what the hell just happened. James Fountain down on the bottom side here. No contact made there. James Fountain shoots up off the bottom after collecting the paint there. And he'll send Joshua Thornton hard to the outside safer barrier here. Looks like everybody trying to avoid it here. Just can't know where to go. Nicholas Maynard trying to avoid it. Jeremy Douglas will run right into the number 01 there. Hard contact made for the number 21. We'll back that ass up here one more time here. See if we can't ride out the front bumper of the number 21 of Jeremy Douglas. See what he's seeing as he goes damn near air, makes Joshua Thornton go damn near airboard here as he just doesn't know what the hell's going on here in turns 1 and 2 as he's just working his way with the rest of the traffic here on the Moody Scoop Racing Channel. Next thing you know, there's a parked car hard on breaking and pow. Huge shot there to the outside safer barrier for the number 21 of Jeremy Douglas there. Joshua Thornton's involved. Nicholas Maynard's tore up here on the left front tire. Sparks flying out the front end of the number 02 WHELEN Modify. We'll take that commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go nowhere. Back here on the Moody Scoop Racing Channel. We're underneath the caution flag for the 7th time here tonight for the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified Division. It's been one hell of a show here so far. We're so glad you tuned in here and joined us here. Mike Doyle will bring that modified down pit road. So will Dakota Pignotero, and that number 14 machine looks tore up here. Nicholas Maynard will bring it down pit road. Sparks flying out the back end of the number 02 WHELEN Modify there. He'll get collected and Dakota Pignataro will get collected as well. Jeremy Douglas, a hard shot to the inside wall as Joshua Thornton right here, this number 01 Precision Modified, gets a little bit of contact from the number 24 Wheeling Modified on James Fountain, and it'll send him up the racetrack here, ladies and gentlemen. 10 laps to go here for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. Dakota Pignataro back out on the racetrack, so is Joshua Thornton. Here comes the kid of Nicholas Maynard, and that number 02 Wheeling Modified will stay on the lead lap. Looks like that's going to do it here for Mike Dole on that number 14 Modified. He'll climb from it, slam the helmet down on top of the Modified, and jump into the back end of the AMR safety crew. He'll take the trip to the infield care center. Jeremy Douglas will hop out of the race car as well and throw his radio up on the crew chief. Tell him that was a hell of a shot here. That'll end Jeremy Douglas's chances of making the championship race 2 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen. We're underneath the caution flag here after a couple of hellacious shots here from a couple of the driver. Neil Rutt III is going to be the race leader here. We get ready to go back racing. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series playoff race number 3. After tonight's event, we will cut the 10 playoff drivers down to 4, and those 4 will compete at South Boston 2 weeks from now for the championship, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be 7 laps to go when we get ready to go back racing here. Neil Rutt has almost damn near dominated this race in this Boardwick number 66 Modified to win his heat race. Start on the pole. He's had a couple challenges from the number 10 of Corey Riptide Tester on the outside. Chase Johnson got up there, stole the show for a little bit, led a couple laps to that number 91. Chase Johnson, Corey Tester, and James Fountain, I'm being told from the admin. These 3 drivers, currently with the top 3 on the points, have went ahead and mathematically locked themselves into the championship race. 2 weeks from now, Peter the pace car hangs the left on the pit road. We're getting ready to go back racing here at the Richmond Raceway. Can we get ourselves a winner? Green flag is back in the air here for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division down here to turns 1 and 2 on the WHELEN Racing channel. These guys are bending their way out through turns 1 and 2. They're farther. Alex Morales trying to make something shaky. That number 7 will go around. Caution flag flies. Caution flag flies back here. We just seen Alex Morales going into the corner. We're ready to say something here. Dakota Pignataro involved as well. Alex Young Money Morales looks to be okay. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel and blow up the instant replay for Young Money Alex Morales, presented by Pop Sports Bed Swings. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Young Money Morales making his 2nd debut here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. First ever for the Modified Division. Dakota Pignataro joined a couple weeks ago, but this is his first Modified race. We'll back this ass up and take a look and see what the hell just happened here. It's Dakota Pignataro working down on the bottom side of Young Money Alex Morales. Alex Morales looks like he'll come across the nose here. Bang! Hard on the inside wall right there for the number 99. Traffic jam right here on the back straightaway end. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here from the admin. That looks like that's going to take us to overtime here for the Modified Division. What would you do for a championship in overtime? We're getting ready to find out when we return here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Don't go nowhere. Back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as we head to overtime here for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. I want to go ahead and thank everybody that has tuned in all season long for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. It's been one hell of a year so far with the Modifieds. Our first time bringing them to you here for the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This is how the season went. Tackling on the Richmond Raceway right now, the final playoff race. We will cut from 10 drivers down to our final 4, and they will attack on the South Boston Raceway 2 weeks from now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see if we can't pull up the playoff points before tonight's event here. So you see how they were shook out running coming into tonight's event. Chase Johnson, Corey Tesner, James Fountain, had the points lead over the rest of the field here, almost mathematically locking himself in here, but it's almost impossible to catch him without dominating. Andrew Allen doesn't show to the racetrack tonight. That puts John Michael Bryant right in the primary position where he wants to be. Chris Knighty doesn't come, so that'll put Joshua Thorne where he wants to go. Jimmy Douglas will move up in the standings. Travo Wall will show up to the racetrack, and Nicholas Maynard pulled from the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, back down here on the main broadcast, we are headed to overtime, and we are getting ready to go racing here, right behind the number 66 of Neil Rutt III. The caution lights will go off this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, we are headed to overtime, and it is real simple. 2 chances at the green, white checker. If these drivers can get all the way back around to the white flag without wrecking, we will stay white, and the caution flag will not come out if these guys wreck. According to the iRacing platform, there's nothing we can do about it. If these drivers were to wreck these wheeling modified race cars before completing 1 lap and getting back to the white flag, we will re-wreck them and send them around one final time. Underneath the wheeling caution lights here, the lights are off, which means we're getting ready to go racing here. Who will do what it takes to advance to the championship race 2 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen? John Michael Bryant right here, Joshua Thorne right here, green flag is back in the air, Joshua Thorne steps on it. He'll have to check out big time, but Neil Wright gets a great launch to the race lead over the number 24 Country Time Wheeling Modified of James Fallon. Working their way through turns 1 and 2 here. Everybody looks to keep it straight down the back straightaway. White flag in the air this time around. Chase Johnson gets tied up the racetrack there. That'll open up the door. Corey Tesler gets bobbles up on the outside. Kyle Fountain goes around. Nicholas Maynard has to check up, but the white flag is in the air, so we'll keep it green here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Up off the corner here for the final time tonight through turns 1 and 2. Neil Rutt III down the back straightaway, looking for his first win here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Working his way through turns 3 and 4. Neil Rutt III will come off the corner. He will win the Richmond race playoff here tonight. Not playoff eligible, but he'll spoil the party. James Fountain will get 2nd place. John Michael Bryant will finish the 3rd place spot. Huge run right there for the number 23. James Fountain will get the 2nd place spot. Chase Johnson will get the 4th place spot right there in that number 91. Joshua Thornton will get the top 5 behind Chase. Corey Tesler spins out. He's already off the racetrack. Dakota Pignataro and his Boardwick late model will come home in the 8th place spot. Nicholas Maynard back here on the bottom side as well. He'll congratulate these guys. But ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt III from Union Beach will win the playoff race here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. He'll turn this Allied Boardwick number 66 Wheeling Modified around and get the celebratory salute to the fans as he absolutely dominated here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt III not playoff eligible as he'll join mid-season running part-time. But the part-timers show you why hard work pays off. He'll pick up the win here tonight on the Asphalt Wheeling Modified Division right before we get ready to go to the championship race and kind of spoil the party, make things interesting for some of these playoff drivers. Neil Rutt III keeps it clean, though. That's all you could ever ask for somebody filling in the field. He's going to come around here, try to burn it down for you fans, and make his way to victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt III going to respect the equipment, won't do the burnout, but he'll pull into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we'll throw it to the commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment with the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division post-race show and driver interviews. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This is the post-race show for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. We are in victory lane with Neil Rutt III from Union Beach, and his Boardwick number 66 Wheeling Modified was more than fast, more than faster than Xfinity Internet. It was untouchable here tonight. He'll win his heat race and pick up the win and spoil the party for the guys running for the championship race here for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. We do have a pit reporter down there in Victory Lane with Neil Roy. Let's see what he's got to say. Go ahead.
Down here in Victory Lane at the Richmond Raceway for the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. We are down here with the number 66 of Neil Rutt. Neil, kind of walk us through it. First race here in the Modified Division, second race here in the I-85 Asphalt League, and you find yourself in Victory Lane. A hard race there in the heat race. You're able to pick up the win there as well. You'll take the cash prize, the money, and spoil the party here for some of these guys, even though you're not running full time.
Was a pretty good showing. Didn't want to interfere with everyone, especially with the points, but I knew running the modified, that's my kind of specialty here. Pretty good race in the heat race, pretty quick in practice, good battling in the heat race, great battling in the feature there with Chase and Corey. Kind of had to roll my dice a little bit, with the 3 wide moves and all that stuff, but it was all good fun. Kind of learned something in practice running the long run, that you can move up a little bit more on your corner exits and get a lot better of a drive off. Started using that, found a rhythm, and we parked it here in Victory Lane the first time.
Neil Rutt brings home a modified win here for the I-85 Asphalt Series. We'll scoot down here to the second place finisher, the number 24 Country Time Modified of James Fountain. James, you're going to have to walk me through this. When hard charge your way through the heat race from the back tail end to pick up the win in the heat race, and then you step on it a little bit too much there in the feature, but you rally your way back for a second place spot. Kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, I had a good car coming off the hauler this afternoon. We were feeling pretty good. We knew whenever we got that draw in the heat race, we had some work to do. Made our way up. Ended up winning the heat race and was glad to start P2. Ended up running out of talent, getting on that apron a little bit, and had to go to the back. But my team was able to get the damage fixed, make some adjustments, and we were able to run through the field. And thankfully to some other guys' misfortune, we were able to escape with a P2 here. And I want to thank everybody for racing me clean, and thank you everybody for showing up. Appreciate y'all.
And that's the number 24 modified of James Fountain. He'll mathematically lock himself in to the championship race 2 weeks from now at the South Boston Speedway. We'll scoot down here to the 23 modified of John Michael Bryant. John, kind of walk us through your night. You didn't kind of quite have the modified you wanted for the heat race. You started P5 in that, and you finished in P5, but able to work your way up through the field here tonight. You'll start in the 10th place spot in the feature and run out with a podium finish.
Yeah, just avoided some of the early chaos and, just drove the absolute living shit out of this car. I'm surprised I still got a right front and a right rear on it. Just did what I had to do to make all the hot moms out there proud, and hopefully it was enough to make the Final Four.
That's the number 23, the boogeyman here. The crowd will roar as he awaits his fate here to figure out if he'll make the championship race 2 weeks from now. We'll scoot down here to the number 91 modified of Chase Johnson. Chase, kind of walked me through your night as well. Start on the front row in the heat race, just not able to quite get it going there. Caution after caution here in the feature. You get a little knocked around there on the overtime. You'll have to settle for the 4th place spot here tonight. Kind of walk us through it. Yeah, as you will win the regular season championship point standings, and you will mathematically lock yourself into the championship race with James Fountain.
Yeah, it was a good race overall for us. Congrats to Neil. Them guys were fast all night, and didn't mean to get into them there one time, but just hard racing. But congrats to them guys. I don't know. We just could never get really going there. We every time we got a good run on them, a caution would come out. So could never really get going, get some momentum. But it's all good. We'll go race for a championship, and I look forward to go late model racing at South Boston tomorrow night. It's one of my favorite tracks. So look forward to that. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks.
Chase Johnson will round out the 4th place spot here tonight. Catching tomorrow night at South Boston, a packed out, sold out house tomorrow night. We'll scoot over here to the number 77 of Dakota Pignataro. Dakota, kind of walked us through your night here tonight, driving the number the number 99 modified, Got pushed around a little bit there in the feature. You have to bring home the 8th place spot, but you'll finish in the podium spot in your heat race.
Yeah, first time here. Decided to show up last second. Not quite sure what happened there at a couple spots, but happy for my teammate getting the win. First one here in the series. But, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Could have avoided a couple things, but just some things to iron out in the future.
That's the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. Not the way he wanted it to go here tonight, but he'll bring home a top 10 spot here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll throw it back up to the booth. We'll do it from the driver interviews down here from the Richmond Raceway.
And we'll come back up here to the booth, ladies and gentlemen. I'm up here talking with the admin during the post-race interviews here. They are still tallying up here. We are talking single digits between these two drivers getting that final spot in the championship race. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll send it to commercial break real quick, and we'll be back in just a moment with the conclusion of the post-race show and the results. Will it be John Michael Bryant, or will it be Joshua Thornton heading to the championship race to join in that final spot? Back here on the WHELEN Racing channel, we are live here from the Richmond Raceway. We just concluded the third and final playoff cutoff race here tonight for the WHELEN Modified Division for the I-85 Asphalt Series. One more race remains here on the WHELEN Racing channel with us in the I-85 Asphalt Series WHELEN Modified. It will be at South Boston 2 weeks from now, and you guys are desperately wanting to make sure that you guys are there. It will be a sold out, packed out house, definitely for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, what you really came for is to figure out which of your favorite drivers are going to be going to that championship race. And here was the point standings coming into tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, Chase Johnson, Corey Tesner, James Fountain, and Andrew Allen were the top 4 guys locked in coming into the final cutoff race here tonight. Andrew Allen will not come to the racetrack, and neither will the triple deuce of Chris Knighty or Trav O'Walt, leaving the door wide open between a 3-way battle between John Michael Bryant, Joshua Thornton, and Jeremy Douglas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Douglas was able to get that race car out front in that heat race and lead some laps. So we know laps led in the heat races are the only thing that paid the points out here. But we'll have to see how things shake out, as I'm hearing from the admin that they are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a drum roll, please? Getting ready to find out who will be the driver joining the top 3 in the championship race 2 weeks from now at the South Boston Speedway. Will it be John Michael Bryant? Will it be Joshua Thornton? Getting ready to find out. Here we go. Bang, bang, bang! John Michael Bryant will get it here on the WHELEN Racing channel. The Boogeyman headed to the championship race, and it was by a near 12-point difference between Joshua Thornton and John Michael Bryant. John Michael Bryant will skate through the tail end of his teeth here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. And he will join James Fountain, the number 24, Corey Tesner, the Mayhew number 10, and Chase Johnson, driver of the number 5. All of these guys will find themselves at the South Boston Speedway 2 weeks from now. You don't have to win the race, but the most points scored will win the race, ladies and gentlemen. When I tell you what a season so far on the WHELEN Racing channel, we went from short track to NASCAR tracks back out here on the ovals here tonight in Richmond. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been one hell of a season so far. We've crowned our final 4 drivers, and we'll know who will be participating for that trophy. Make sure you show up 2 weeks from now at the South Boston Speedway. Sell out the merch trailers, and they'll have all their championship gear tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. The I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock playoff race at South Boston. Getting ready to go on to Hickory 2 weeks from now for that cutoff race, but we'll tackle on 75 laps underneath tomorrow night, underneath the lights at South Boston. And when I tell you there isn't a ticket left, you better get to searching now. Standing room only. Who's going to go to victory lane tomorrow night? Tonight it was Neil Rutt III spoiling the party here for the the I-85 Asphalt Series Wheeling Modified Division. He'll pick up the win here tonight at the Richmond Raceway and spoil the party for the playoff guys. But it'll be John Michael Bryant joining James Fountain, Chase Johnson, hey Corey Tester running for the championship 2 weeks from now. That'll do it from us here at the Richmond Raceway. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow night.